We all make mistakes, especially when we're starting out, right? I mean, even the most successful businesses have gone through their share of challenges. The hope, though, is that the mistakes that happen are small and inconsequential, right? Well, it doesn't always work out that way. You know how they say that you'll end up spending more in the first year than you actually make? Well, for many of us, that is the reality. But it doesn't have to be. So today I will let you in on the 3 most expensive mistakes that I made when I started my business, so you don't have to make the same ones. Hi, my name is May Pak, and I help makers, artists, and designers make a living by selling their handmade products online. Today, my handmade jewelry shop makes $200,000 a year in sales, and my husband's shop that we started in 2019 made $900,000 in 2020. It wasn't easy to learn how to run a business, and I made my fair share of mistakes that cost me a lot of money. Thankfully, each mistake was a huge learning experience for me, and that only makes everything you do later on have greater chances of success. One of the most expensive mistakes I made was doing trade shows. Now, it's easy to confuse trade shows with craft shows, so let me be clear that I'm not talking about craft shows or craft fairs. I'm just talking about trade shows. Trade shows are where makers sell their products wholesale to shop owners. So craft shows are where you sell individual items directly to the end consumer, whereas trade shows are where you sell your products in bulk to shop owners where they resell your products for a profit. Trade shows are super expensive to do. You have to pay for money on booth rental, show services like Wi-Fi and electricity, the design and construction of your booth, the shipping of your booth to the location, and travel and lodging for yourself to each show. When I've done trade shows, I've spent between $5,000 to $10,000 each. And if you're new to doing trade shows, you're not likely to make money or even break even at first because a lot of shop owners want to buy from proven shops and proven products that they trust, and they're less likely to take a chance on a new product or brand they've never seen before. Now, while trade shows might sound like an easy way to sell and reach a profitable market, they're really not anymore, especially with online alternatives popping up like Faire or Hello Abound, just to name a few. To do trade shows well, you will need to have a big cash cushion and a lot of patience. You just can't expect to be profitable after only one show, which was my expectation. You have to be financially prepared to do at least 3 shows over the next 1 to 2 years before you can see a profit. That's 3 of the same show. You could spend thousands of dollars here and not make any money back, so you have to ask yourself if that's something you're comfortable with. When I was starting out, I really wanted to make trade shows work for me. I did New York Now, the Atlanta Gift Show, and the National Stationery Show. Altogether, I spent almost $20,000 between all of them before I realized that they were hurting me more than they were helping. Plus, I just wasn't in a comfortable enough place financially to be able to swing doing each of those shows a couple more times in order to see results. So I had to stop doing trade shows altogether. So instead of exhibiting at trade shows, I recommend maybe partnering with sales reps who work with dozens of other brands. So sales reps will take about a 15% commission on sales, but they'll usually pay for the booth themselves and only charge you a small fee to have a small shared space. They'll ask you to send them promotional print material to display on their booth along with like product samples, postcards, catalogs, and anything else that will help you market your product. You'll still spend some money and you'll have to share a booth with other brands, but you will be spending a lot less than if you did a show totally on your own. Sales reps also help sell your products during times when there aren't trade shows happening. So they travel a lot and they pitch your products to stores on your behalf. This can be a great way for you to get into selling wholesale and establishing a new income stream for your business if you aren't already doing this. The second most expensive mistake I made when starting out was hiring a lot of ads agencies to help me with my marketing. In the beginning, I was convinced that experts in advertising knew more than I did and that they could bring in better results than myself. Guys, I spent tens of thousands of dollars working with a ton of paid ad agencies. And guess what? I really wish I didn't. But if I didn't, I wouldn't be here to share this thing with you. Because here's the thing. Most ad agencies will require you to commit to a minimum of 3 months with them. Others will ask for 6 months because results take time. And of course, results do take time. So again, I trusted that they knew better than I did. Who was I to question the experts, right? And agencies will never guarantee results, and anyone who does is lying through their teeth because no one can guarantee results. But they will do a whole lot of overpromising to get you to sign on as a client. So I was sucked in to buy all the success stories I heard. Each of these agencies had a few booming businesses they could boast about, but I didn't face the truth that each of these agencies also probably had lots of failed case studies, but it's not like they were showcasing those to the public, right? What I didn't realize then was that it's actually very easy to fudge success stories and take screenshots of people making a ton of money for their clients. Agencies can use inspect elements on their browser to take stats out of context. Like, for example, I've seen this before. They might show a campaign got like a 20 times return on ad spend on Facebook Ads Manager, which basically means that you're making $20 for every $1 you spend on ads. But these agencies won't mention that that was just for like one sale or that it was just a retargeting campaign, which cannot scale in the first place. I know we're getting technical here, but the bottom line is, take agency success stories with a grain of salt. In 2019, I had a terrible year in business. I was giving other people more money than I paid myself, and even though I made 6 figures in sales that year, I barely had any money to my name. And it was then that I decided it was time to take back the reins and do ads management myself. I cut out the middleman and didn't have to pay those extravagant monthly service fees that were giving me little result. Unfortunately, we made this same mistake just a few months ago with my husband's business. We took a chance on an agency that was very highly rated, and they seemed like a perfect fit for us. Because we knew that my husband's shop has such a great foundation, I mean, to make almost $1 million, right, in such a short amount of time, we thought it would be a piece of cake for any agency to produce results for us. But unfortunately, after 2 months and over $10,000 in agency fees, they just cannot beat the results we were already getting ourselves before we hired them. So we've decided to fire them and instead bring on an assistant that we train to do marketing for us. So we're going to keep everything in-house to minimize expenses, and because we're providing the training, we can have more control over how the job is done. The third most expensive mistake I made was paying for custom web design. I paid thousands of dollars for a web design agency to develop a custom website for my business. This was back when I was on PrestaShop, which is a self-hosted platform like WordPress and WooCommerce. Now I'm on Shopify. But the custom site became an expensive problem really quickly. That's because with custom themes, you don't get free support. So whenever anything breaks or a plugin or app becomes incompatible with your theme, you have to pay extra just to get it fixed so that they're compatible again. Not only that, but there is no directly associated ROI with custom design sites. Like, yeah, it was nice to know that no one else had a site that looked like mine, but while that thought might have been good for my ego, it came at a heavy cost to my bank account. There are so amazing paid and free themes out there, and with the ability to really customize everything from the color to the font to the logo, any theme will look unique to your own brand. Once you add in your product photos, your reviews, and other specific features to your business, your colors, your fonts, it will end up looking pretty unique. You do not need a custom-made website to communicate that you and your products are unique to your customers. Trust me. Building a business is hard and it takes a lot of money to do. You will undoubtedly make a ton of mistakes along the way. I still am making mistakes to this day. The important thing is we learn from them, and hopefully sharing my experiences with you help you to avoid making the same mistakes as me. What's one unexpected mistake you made when you started out? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to share some stories. And while you're at it, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you can stay up to date on the latest advice for your handmade business. And don't forget to stick around to watch this next video. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one.